What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is Forza's Panda here, and this is episode 1 of the KingCast. Yes, the first ever, to my knowledge, podcast strictly based around Forza Horizon King, the game mode that we all love, the game mode that this small community has come to all love and grow together. We all started off as a small ass community, which we still are in the grand scheme of things, but I'd like to think that 2022 we have the most relevant King players that has ever touched um, Xbox One, I guess PC by that logic as well. But the KingCast will be something that I do either weekly or bi-weekly, and it will have co-hosts for most, if not all, of the appearances. It won't be all. Let's not even try to lie about it. It won't be all, but for the times that I do get co-hosts, I'm hoping that those episodes are even more interesting because I'm giving the entire community a look at the rest of the community. With that being said, I have my first co-host here, a long-time player. Probably me and him are the longest two tenured King players in the world, and it's not by, it's not a million people that play the game mode. So, I mean, it's something to brag about, but it's not. But anyways, it's Top Gear Tim. How you doing, bud? We were talking this whole time, so
Thank you, Panda. Thank you. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. I'm actually really excited to start a new chapter in the King community. Do something else for them. We must. Um, and I'm really excited. I'm just really excited in general because
Yeah,
it's
I
a
don't
new
know what to
start.
expect either. Yeah,
It's a new
it's
start.
exciting though.
I look at this
King
as like
podcast.
I look at this as like the prologue to 2023, which is like the year where the most effort is going to be put into the King community.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Indeed.
Yeah, I would say so.
Well, people should know both of us by now, but if not, if there's any people that only tune in to me but not Tim for some reason, then now's the chance to tell people what you do.
Oh wow, I'm getting put on the spot here. Well, I'm Top Gear Tim, obviously a longtime Horizon King player, as mentioned by Panda here. That's really about it. There's not really much else to it.
No, tournament pioneer. There's a lot more within King itself.
Yeah. Okay.
There's
Okay.
a lot more to Tim than meets the
I
eye.
guess if we're tooting our own horns here, first person ever to host a King tournament in Forza Horizon history. So yay me. And then currently now I'm running a King League for free for all, known as the UKC right now. I don't know when this video is gonna come out or this podcast is gonna come out, but maybe by that time, registration for UKC will be available. We'll see, but yeah,
Definitely,
I don't
definitely.
like to toot the own horn, so
Don't worry, that's
I'm a
that's
King
why you
player.
got me. I'm gonna try to be the person that toots 99.9% of the King community's horns, cause like I said before, and like just as well as I know, this community deserves some more shine on it. Like,
Oh,
like God
100%.
damn it, when the hell are we gonna get our recognition for probably the hardest thing to do in Forza Horizon? I mean, look,
Yeah, I agree.
I haven't done everything in Forza Horizon, but I've tried to drift. I've drifted. I've drag raced. I've Goliath raced. Nothing's like King though. There's nothing like King. You can catch a Goliath race off guard. You can catch a drag race off guard. You're not catching a professional King play off guard in a 10-minute game.
Yeah, 100%. I do think it's the most. I do think it's the one that takes the most to get into. Whereas, with like you said, drag racing, drifting, things like that is very straightforward. There's always like it's like a, what do you call it? There's like a path that you take, right? Like you got to do this to do this. Whereas in King, it's just there's one objective and that's it. It's just up to the player's creativity to excel in that. There's no blueprint for King like there is for
Exactly.
racing. Yeah,
That's
I
that's
agree.
another way I've looked at that a bunch. It is a great analogy because, like you said, you kind of know what to expect after a while. Even if it's a track you've never done before, after doing one or two laps, you know when to hit the brakes, when to feather, when to full throttle, what angle to take. But when you're playing a king player, and when you're playing multiple king players, no king match is exactly the same as the last one is. I don't care if it's the same people playing 10 times in a row and it's the same result. What happens in that 10 minutes is never exactly the same, and that's why I believe it's so underrated, the game mode itself.
100%.
Yeah, but the history of King was and will always be something that I'm sure you hold dear to your heart as well as I, because we were there. We lived through Horizon 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I mean that as like me or you, at least one of the two of us have played
Yep.
all of those Horizons and King through all of those Horizons in their entire lifespan. And it only took it only took two of us. So, as far as the history goes, it's fantastic. But looking at the present, what do you think of this current, like the current state of King and the current community, like the potential that it has?
The potential. See, yeah, there's a lot to take in with how the state of King is right now, because like right there's a lot of good players right now, but they're all kind of I don't want to say secluded, but they're all with their own groups, so to speak, right? Like nobody really, not everybody plays together all the time, you know. And then there's people that do Horizon Open, which is like that helps. Like I put it in there because I feel like there's some players in Horizon Open that have potential in regular King, if that makes sense. So like that I'm kind of rambling with that, but
No, no, not at
yeah,
all. I'm
the
with
state
you.
of yeah the state of King right now. I mean, I would say it's at this very moment it is kind of on a dry spell, but hopefully that'll change with 2023, of course, with your league and my league, rebooting, so to speak. Oh, mine is, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Um, but right now it is kind of dead because there's no like it's really there's no really good maps in my opinion, like there was in I don't want to sound like a broken record, but like there's no good maps, there's no way to like find king games like in public, or in a public session, right? So like forget the first thing I said about the maps, like that's me getting way too far ahead of myself here. Like there's no way to like find, there's LFGs of course, but like I mean if you've ever tried to get people to play king through LFG, like
Yeah.
you know how
It's
that goes.
it's not the same.
So
It's not even a fraction of it's not even a fraction of success rate as it was in Horizon 1 with their lobby browser. And that's a 360 game
yeah,
from 2012.
yeah, 100%, 100%. But like but right now because it's in a weird in a weird spot though, because it's on its fifth iteration of Horizon, and there's people that's been playing, whether it's new to five or since four, since three, since two, since one, whatever. Like there's kind of that compound um player base, so to speak, right? It like
Yeah.
carries over. So I feel like because of that, there are a lot of King players, but like it's not really in a state to grow right now. At least as of right
You
this
know
very
what I
second.
feel like, and not to cut you off, but my analogy with it that I was just thinking of, and this is mainly because I have some popcorn sitting right next to me. But the state of King right now, like we're all in a little popcorn bag. We're all kernels that have not yet popped, but we're just waiting. We're just waiting for something to happen. Because once it starts, once that one kernel pops, then something like, it's just going to continue on. I feel like 2023 is the year where it's either going to be my league, your league, someone else's league, or a combination of the three happening that brings the King League back to what it was. Or, sorry, the King community back to what it was in its prime days, which is everyone playing together with that being friendly or even beef, but you need
Yeah,
the
yeah.
community back.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, that I think that's how it will probably happen as well. There's just no cohesiveness, you know. And I really do I really do blame playground games for this because first of all, the whole not being able to play each other's maps thing. Like right now, at this very second, you can technically because I guess they just released an update, but it's still only for 5 minutes, right? And as you know, ever since Horizon 2, every quote unquote real King game has been 10 minutes, right?
Hmm.
So like it's even though it's possible to play other people's maps, it's not actually it doesn't actually do the King community any good, you know?
Yep.
And like
No, you're spot on.
so I 100% blame playground games because of their I don't even know what to call it. Like it's not even like incompetent, but it's just their lack of care for this. You know, like I don't even want to say
Lack of
King players,
attention.
right? Like yeah, lack of attention they're giving to playground game modes.
Yeah,
Like, you know what
exactly.
I'm saying? Like which is what they're based off of,
Mediocre.
which I don't understand. Like, yeah, it's what they're named after, and it's the one that they give the least attention to, which
Yeah.
I don't understand. You know.
No,
So,
it's
but
perfect. It's a perfect
to be
segue.
completely honest with you, the King community though, like as it is now, I don't know if it could have gone any other way. I feel like we're really just we know like most of the other good players and stuff like that, and I feel like lobbies happen. Like I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing given the circumstances that we have now, if that makes sense. So
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm in a weird spot with the uh with the community as it stands right now. I don't know. There's a lot to say, but I don't know what to say about it.
No, I get that because there's so many names that are just top level now. But
Right.
it's like I guess we don't. It's just not enough stuff competitive that's going on. I guess that's what I feel like at least. Because we at least
Yeah,
had leagues to
I agree
bring
with
us all
that.
together, tournaments, and the UKC, which we'll get into later, because I have that as a topic. It was and is a great addition to 2022 as a whole, and I feel like that was the little bit of the one Elmered, what is it, Elmered glue, the one bottle of glue that held it together. It's like it's not industrial tape or nothing. It's
On
just
its
one
last
bottle.
legs.
Yeah, it's like you held it.
Yeah.
It held it. It did its fucking job. I
Yeah.
mean, shit. There's a lot of names that I would not know right now if not for the UKC, and I'm pretty sure other people have met other people through the UKC as well, or at least been exposed to the gamer tag. And
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
so just
that's
the fact
definitely
that yeah,
possible.
just like that's all that it takes is just bring people together that way, exposing someone to someone else, and whether they become friends or rivals, that's kind of good for the community in a weird, sick way. It's like it
Yeah.
keeps the drive going, cause
Yeah,
and
competition's good.
yeah, and
Competition's good.
I'm gonna misquote Shifu here. I'm not even gonna try to quote him here, but he said something along the lines of he stopped wanting to play King because he stopped hating me and Trio and our group. And it didn't even rub me the wrong way. I didn't feel any way
Yeah,
about
that's not
that.
even
It's
invalid
just
or anything.
something that
That's a good point.
yeah, I just kind of understood. I'm like, huh. It's like you just don't have the drive to play it anymore once
Yeah.
you already he did come up to our level and stuff. It's not like he was saying that when he was still on the up. He was already at our level and at the top
Right.
tier level of King player. And it's like, what else could he do? He can already prove that he can beat anybody else in the world that plays King. He is that level of player. So why go forward with it? But that being said, though, now I'm the one rambling. But that connects back to the point of we just need something to bring us all together again and have us all play, if not nightly, then at least every other night.
Yeah. There's value in consistency, and I think that's what we're missing. And you know, that's why I said I was ahead of myself whenever I said maps earlier. But what I was trying to get to that was like you could always do Horizon Open, right? but like I don't know if I speak for the most of the King community. I think I do, but like to the actual maps, the base standard maps are kind of they're shit. Like I'm not even gonna shoot her. I absolutely hate all of them. The aerodrome, fine, that one is okay, whatever. But like for compared to the other maps, like and like I hate Horizon 3, okay? But even Horizon 3's airstrip small, okay? Even that I feel like was better than any of the maps in this game. But like my
Yeah.
point being there's no map or some sort of constant that everybody is always playing on, right? Like there was my league and there was the two maps, right? But like who's to say that that's the gold standard? Like there's no like in the previous games it's like like you can be good on one map, you can be good on whatever map. It's not a custom thing, right? But like, and you can be good on all maps and stuff, right? But like here, it's like you could be good on this person's map, you could be terrible on this person's map, but like who holds the value?
And it's crazy.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Like it's like, does it matter if you're good on this game or on this map, or or does it not matter, right? And like who decides that? And there's just no constant that is good enough in Horizon 5 right now that which is why there's such a, I feel like, a bland mix of players and just whatever. It's like, oh yeah, this person's doing a lobby and this person's doing a lot. It's just kind of like you're playing King. It's almost blind. So it's almost
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean, and I had that was my theory even before launch. I don't know if you remember. I was even saying that it's a double-edged sword having custom maps because like you may think it's only a positive as far as the integrity of King itself. Like because now we have asphalt at the at the snap of a finger, but at the same time, people are gonna want to. Like everyone's gonna want to be biased at some point. Let's just be honest here.
Yeah,
and I'm
100%.
I'm guilty of it as
100%.
well. Currently, I'm guilty of it as well. There's some people's maps that I've played that I'm like, not the biggest fan of this, even though it is asphalt, which I've been begging for so long. And it all boils down to, like you said, there's not one map that we can all come together and just religiously play and be like, this is the go-to King map.
Yep. And that is the problem that I see. And it's like, I don't want to go off topic or anything like that, but like it doesn't help that the event lab, interface and building maps, like it's not that intuitive.
No.
Great,
actually, no, that's not going off topic as well. That actually leads right into my next topic, which is quote what King needs. So fire away.
Okay. Yeah. So I think there's very simple solutions. There's multiple simple solutions to these things. So what do I think needs to be added to King? So I think the first thing is, if we're sticking to how it is right now, I think the first thing that needs to be added is like custom spawn points and stuff. Like this might be this is gonna be different for different people, right? Custom spawn points, that's one thing that needs to be added. I think another thing that needs to be added is, changed, I should say, is like the ability to, you should be able to resize objects in Event Lab so that you could place just one slab of asphalt and stretch it for the entire map. If that makes sense, you get what I'm trying to say?
Just resize it just like you can the decals in the paint job editor.
Exactly. Use the same exact formula as you would in the vinyl editor, decal editor, whatever you want to call it, the paint booth, and put it into these props in Event Lab, and boom, you have all your problems solved right there. Or another thing they could do is have an Event Lab where you have these custom spawn points. You just start. You don't start anywhere. You don't start anywhere as the base on the map or anything. You are just in this different place, and you build the entire thing from scratch. Right? Like this place doesn't exist on the map. Like because there's always a base. Right? Yeah. There's like the stadium, the Baja, whatever. You got to build off of that. No, you have to it goes into this secluded area, place, whatever you want to call it, with custom spawn points and everything, and you can build your maps from there. With the ability, like put that with the ability to play other people's maps and the ability to edit their blueprints, right? Whenever I say edit blueprints, I'm talking about changing the time of day and how long the game lasts for and the class and all that. Be able to do that, right? Obviously, without hindering the map and all that stuff, right? Without changing all that. Add all of that, and I think we are like 90% done with what we need. Like that's all we need. I feel like that's all we need. Everything else is like I don't know how much you consider like snap or
Well,
hitboxes.
I highly consider
to be
that, but I'm also realistic into, like when I say what King
right.
needs, I'm also considering what realistically is gonna happen. And that what you said,
Right.
that all sounds like something that realistically could happen, but the snap thing I've
Yeah.
given up on. And it's just something we have to accept
And
now.
here's a little bonus though. Like I don't think this is a necessity in terms of if you're just playing the game, but if you're in a position like you and me, I definitely feel like drone mode is possible and it would really help
Yep, in
like
events,
the broadcasting,
drone
that
mode
spectator
in
mode,
playground games would
something.
be
Yeah,
perfect.
that's all. That's all you need. Because I don't know how that would hinder someone, right? Because even in a race, like there's no drone mode, but like if you're in drone mode, your car's just sitting there, right? So like
Yeah.
it's not like you're gonna. Yeah, but knowing playground games, if you add a drone mode into that, you're probably gonna get disconnected for inactivity after a certain point, being in drone mode, knowing
Yeah,
them,
something dumb.
because your car is standing still or something. But
It's,
yeah, I feel like there's not that much you can add if you add these things which I just said, right? Custom spawn
like
points or different whatever, like things like that. Just
after
be able to
those
resize
things that
everything,
you
just-
named, it's just like you're just being picky at that point.
Yeah, like
It's like
I
personal
don't.
preference shit at that point.
There really isn't any way to fix what's going on with like updates. I feel like like there's no fixing it. You just kind of gotta make these changes, or it's not gonna help, right? Things like that. So I don't know. Yeah,
I guess another small one, and this will be my last one. When people leave a 2 crown event, I want it to go back to 1.
after a certain point, or like,
No,
like
like I
if,
want
if
someone to
there's
just
9
lose their
people and it goes
crown.
to 8.
Remember how the person would just lose their crown?
Yeah.
Like that. I miss
that's right.
that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When the person doesn't have, yeah,
Yeah,
I do
exactly.
miss that as well. Yeah.
When the person that didn't have the crown would
But
leave, it just yeah.
I'm gonna counter you on that by saying I wish there was an option to just pick how many crowns there will be in the game.
Oh no, yeah. That's perfect. That fixes that too. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's that's all we need right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Because and like I don't even feel like things such as a 12-person lobby with 1 crown would be impossible if you have the right maps, right?
Not at all.
And like I do think so, because like after I don't know why I didn't consider maps like such a big factor, but in my opinion it really is a big factor when it comes to King gameplay and like how things flow, because like starting from Horizon 1, right? Like you kind of had to like know places, and you had to know the map, right? But like the maps were what do you want to call it? Neutral. The maps were neutral enough to where there was a counter for everything, right? Whereas like the more you go, like there was more like overpowered methods, or I guess the term would really be meta, right? But like nobody wants to just run circles the entire time, or like spam the off-road section, or whatever the case may be, right? Like run into walls or whatever. Like nobody that actually plays game wants to. Well, maybe some people do. I know some people who would not hesitate to do all those things, but I'm saying like it's not neutral enough, right? So like understanding that, especially after making and playing maps like on 5, like I'm starting to realize how much maps and the arena, whatever like the environment plays a factor into
How
into a team
seamless
game.
it is.
Yeah, like how seamless the
Yeah.
old games were, right? Like and how much that affects. Yeah, there's a lot of it's very intangible.
Yeah.
Like you can't really say this, like there's no metric on flow of the map. There's no metric on playability.
Yeah.
Like you just have to
One
play
of those
it
feel
and
things.
yeah, and that's the hardest part, and that's okay. I'll get into that later maybe.
No, well, maps is another. I'm gonna segue into something else here, but maps is also very important in my upcoming bar league. BAR stands for blockers and runners, and it is the first ever Team King or 2v2/3v3, if you want to call it that, King League that is going to be hosted, I believe, ever. Again, if there's anything that I'm wrong on, please correct me in the comment section below. But whenever I mention anything Team King related, I gotta always shout out Trio, the creator of Team King in Forza Horizon.
Madman himself.
Yeah, he came up with the whole blocker runner logic thing or whatever. It's a format himself, and I fell in love with it and have been in love with it and have honestly preferred it more than free for all. I'm the only person that in the community that probably prefers our original Team King over free for all. So
Yeah,
it
not
only
Forza,
feels
Team
right.
King.
Yeah. It only feels right that I'm the one to host a Team King one, and I'm very excited. Teaming with Tim here and with Oleski, another person I've teamed with in the past, and another amazing, probably the greatest Horizon 3 King player of all time. I mean, there's not a lot of people that would go against that, so it'd be very interesting to see how we mesh if we do a 3-man lobby, but we're used to some 2v2s.
It's raps. It's raps for everybody here. We got Alessi, we got you, we got me. It's raps. I don't give a shit.
Hey, I could see anything happening in this league, and that's why I love it.
Yeah.
I wanna ask you, who do you think is the most important person in a Team King game? Like, who's more important, the runner or the blocker?
Ooh,
And I know before
good
you say, I know it kind of depends on the person, but I want to just kind of generalize it. Like, if you had to pick one, who's more important?
If I said 50-50, is that a cop-out answer?
No. Matter of fact, no. I wasn't thinking it, but no.
Because it really is 50-50, because the runner can carry the team, but so can the blocker. You know what I mean? Like, it goes both ways. Like, you kind of need both. It's it really is 50-50, because okay, of course there's anomalies, right? If you are an exceptional runner, right, you could probably 2v1 the other two, right? And so in scenarios where the blocker might not need to be relevant, but at the same time, if you're an exceptional blocker, right, like with see, blocker I feel like is a very misconstrued or misinterpreted term, because when you say blocker, like, their sole goal isn't just to block. It's their goal is to make their runner get first place. So, like, if they're a good blocker, exceptional blocker, and they just keep it away from the runner all the time, right? Like, in whatever case scenario, like, they keep it away from the runner, like the other team's runner, and every time they go for a pass, like, he's able to intercept it, right? And stop it from happening. Like, right, the crown might never touch that person, the team's your team's runner or whatever, but, like, because he's doing such a good job of blocking, like, it might be like your runner might have like 2 minutes on the board but win the game still. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it goes both ways. I think they're both important, but in general, like, overall, with I'm trying to generalize and put it into an umbrella term. I would say 60-40, 60 being the blocker because
Ooh, I was gonna say
because
60-40 runner.
yeah, so because the blocker has a lot more. I feel like it, not more to do like the. It's like having one really hard task versus like 30 really easy tasks. If that
Yeah.
makes sense, it's the way I see it. So like the blocker has to do more, right? Like if the blocker is able to call out, where the players are, then the runner can doesn't need to be a great king player, to avoid where the other
Mhm.
players are. You know what I'm
That
saying?
makes sense.
So I would say 60-40 on in general, right? Like just average for importance, 60 being the blocker, 40 being the runner. But like I said, personally, I do think, at least for me, even I think it's 50-50. It could even sway the other way for other people, and in your case, you said it goes the other way. But either way, the blocker can carry the match, or the runner can carry the match. So I think they're both equally important. But out of the
No.
players that play king and stuff like that, I would say 60-40 blocker is a
Mhm.
bit more important. But I do say it would be important that the better king player is the runner. I do say that would be important. Like
Yeah.
if
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
you know what I'm saying, yeah.
That makes sense. All right, that's cool. Well, to anybody out there that wasn't informed or that I didn't get a chance to message, anybody can join this Team King League. Just message me on Xbox, on Discord, or even just drop a comment below and I'll respond to it here with who you want your partner to be. If they're available and if you guys get your team name and that all sorted out, you're in. I mean, there's not much to it. It's gonna start January 1st. So all of December, you have to jump in some lobbies of mine. We'll do some practice rounds just so you guys can get the idea of the format. Because I am introducing 2 new formats to this league as well. Uh, that being said, with the Bar League coming up, we also have some free agents that do not have a teammate yet. One of them being Chain Bruno. So if anybody wants him, then pick him up. Now, I would like to jump and ask if you have any updates for your UKC. How is it shaping
Oh,
up?
okay. So I'm I'm making the biggest change that I'm making for this would be the way it's like the format is. And so like used to how it was previously, it would just be like UKC 1, UKC 2, and then people call each other out, whatever, and this person picks the class or the map, whatever they want to pick. It was just a bit too much for me to put that type of, I don't want to say trust, but like that type of responsibility on the players. So I said screw all that. I'm taking it into my own hands. The format will be, there will be an A class, an S1 class, and an S2 class. There'll be 3 different classes. You have to register in order to participate. But the kicker is you are only allowed to participate in one. Okay, it's gonna be a season. It's gonna be a seasonal thing. So for season 1, you can only participate either in A class, S1, or S2, and then
Mm,
the next season you can participate in a different one if you would like. Now,
okay.
depending on how many people there are, I might let people pick 2 classes to participate in. I'm still unsure on that one. And instead of people picking maps and stuff like that, there will be one standard map for the entire league.
Okay.
So, so
That makes
those, so
sense.
those are probably the 2 biggest things. The registration thing. Yes, you will have to fill out a form in order to participate and join the league because I do want some sort of commitment, like, to know that they're about it, basically. So I'm gonna do that. So that's where it stands right now. Hopefully, I'm aiming for late January for the first match. Each season be it will last for 6 weeks, but matches will happen every 2 weeks. So there will only be 3 weeks of matches.
Okay, that makes sense.
So it'll
Like
be a
every
6 week
other.
season, but yeah, so it'll be a 6 week season, but it'll be matches every other week. So
Okay.
or I guess, sorry, that would make it 5 weeks. We'll make it 5 weeks. Sorry, so because it'll be like one, skip two, three,
Okay.
skip
Yeah. Yeah.
four, five, right? So that's 5 weeks. Yeah. So each season will be 5 weeks, and it'll be every other week. That's that is how that is going to go. So that way I feel like if you're if you're like it could be a season one A class champion, right? And then like
Mhm.
the next season it could be season two as one class champion. Who knows,
Yeah.
right? That way there's choices and there's variety. People can pick what class they want, but also like there's got to be some sort of I feel like there's got to be some sort of um, an official format, and I feel like that's better. That's better than letting the players call out whoever, because like to be fair, like it, nobody really wants to fake call somebody out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
nobody, so like for it to be actually official, yeah. Like so, I'm just taking the approach of like here's the format, here's the layout. You guys pick and choose, where you want to be, type thing. So but yeah, it'll be like a double elimination style every week. So if you lose 2 weeks in a row, like just don't lose 2 weeks in a row. And by lose, I'm talking about come bottom three.
Mhm.
As long as you don't come bottom three 2 weeks in a row, you should be straight.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it'll make sense. I'll make a video, explaining all of that and things like that and rules and whatnot.
And the
But yeah,
matches, are you gonna put those like live stream on Twitch or YouTube, like video
they're
YouTube,
probably going to be YouTube
or both?
videos, but what I will do is after I upload it, or sorry, no, after I get done making the video, I'm probably gonna have like a little watch party, if that makes sense, right? So like I'm gonna like live stream my PC screen of me playing that week's episode, right? Like
Mhm.
live, and then the day after I'll probably upload the video. So I'll probably do that. Um,
Okay.
Oh, and I guess this goes back on what we said earlier about matches being 10 minutes. It will now be 9 minutes.
Oh yeah.
because
Yeah.
of the no because of the no custom spawn points. I don't want there to be like, because it used to be like, yeah, it takes 10 seconds, whatever, 10 seconds, and some people take longer than 10 seconds, some people take less than 10 seconds, and all this
Yeah.
crap, and it's like minus 10 seconds. It didn't work that well. So since people usually take less than a minute to get into the map, right? I'm just gonna minus 1 minute from the person that starts off with it, right? And then no penalties after that. It'll just be out of 9 minutes, just to keep things simple. And also that way we can do easier maths, because it'll be six matches per what is it, per game, whatever you want to call it. I just kind of lost my words there. But it'll be plus me, right? If I'm not in that game, I'll be spectating and
Mhm.
watching and stuff like that. So there will definitely be 2 crowns. So I'm gonna have to swipe the crown and stuff like that. So it'll be easier to do that type of math, if that makes sense, right? So yeah, it'll be out of 9 minutes, but we gotta do what we gotta do.
No, that's fine to me, cause like we used to play 7-minute matches in Horizon 1, so 2 minutes
Yeah,
more
yeah.
than that is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Not that bad of a
Well,
thing,
for
at
us it's
least.
not, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
other
for
people,
a lot of people, 10 minutes is the norm.
like always say though, just as long as you're consistent with it, repetition, people will catch on. Everyone will
Yeah.
catch on.
Yeah.
We're all still playing King at the end of the day, so and for
Yep.
an important reason. That being
Yep.
said, I have a I guess not a small surprise, not a big surprise, but a tiny surprise. I am joining the UKC as a free-for-all competitor, and I want to save it for this moment.
Oh, okay. Welcome. Welcome. Very
Indeed.
nice. Very nice. Yeah,
Forza's
you were always
Panda, or I
against
guess,
you were always
yes,
against the free for alls. You were always for the Team King. So very nice. Okay.
yep.
Okay. Yeah.
WF50 will be training long and hard to make a return to free-for-all stuff.
That's what's up. That's
And
what's up. I'll be looking out for your registration form.
oh yeah, as long as it's not 12 pages long.
Yeah. No, it shouldn't be.
Uh,
It should be like I think it's gonna be like 5 questions or something like that.
okay, that's fine. That's fine. Well, we're kind of at the end of the pod here, and I want to go off with a bang. So I want to ask you a question, and I'll answer it immediately after or before if you want me to. Your top 3 best King players currently.
Oh my. Top
Strictly Horizon
three,
5.
strictly in Horizon 5. Are we talking absolute peaks here? Are we talking absolute peaks? Like the best that these players can perform.
Yeah, I'm talking from whatever your eyes have seen from the moment this game is launched to this very second. You have to think of 3 top
man.
players. You know what? You don't have to. It doesn't have to be in order.
Okay. If it doesn't have to be in order, see, I did kind of want to mention this earlier as well. So you know what? I'm gonna give a shout out to Dundee because here's the thing about Dundee. Okay. Like, and you know, I know he'll probably see this, whatever. Like, there's no hard feelings. All right. I don't particularly enjoy playing with him because it's always such a it's always such a challenge. He always plays like really. I don't want to say try hard. Like that's not. I don't want to put a bad connotation to it. But he plays like 100% all of the time, right? So I don't particularly enjoy it. But the thing about him though, we need more players like him. As much as I hate to say it, because whenever the King community does blow up, and we need like a professional player representative that's always going to be consistent, that's always going to do well. Like, I don't know if there's anybody else that stands out like that other than Dundee.
Yeah.
And like I don't. And here's me exposing myself a little bit, right? Like, as much as I don't really want to play with him all the time, whenever he asks for an invite or whenever he wants to join or whatever, I always let him and not to toot my own horn, because I know that I play with some of the best people, right? Like I hate tooting my own horn, but I play with the best people most of the time, right? Like not all the time, but for the most part, I play with the best people. So like I don't want to cut him out from an invite, or like from joining for let's say like to dull his skills, if that makes sense, right? Like I do want him to keep being like keep I guess going, right? Because I feel like he has the highest potential when it comes to King, because like he always plays really well. He always tries, and we need that type of mentality. Like there's just no other. I just can't think of another player that's like that. So like, if we're talking like top 3, like he has to be up there, number 1, at least number 2 at the very lowest. Like he's got to go up there. Like, and I think when King blows up, like who's like okay, like give me an example of a professional King player. I would have to point to Dundee, because like you and me, like peak wise, like I feel like we're good, but like we don't always play peak. You know what I'm saying? Like we play to have fun. We just chill and stuff like that. But like we do need a representative of somebody who's always doing good, and to me that's Dundee. Now, to name another 2 players, this might be a little bit of a bias, but Tuner Mark, I definitely have to give a shout out to Tuner Mark, because that man's he doesn't even play that often, but when he does, it's like there's no like Tuner is always gonna do well. And whenever I think Tuner and Dundee had a few back and forth, like the few times that Tuner did come and join the lobbies, and those were always fun to play. And also shout out to Tuner for being the only ever person the only person to 10-minute me 2 games. Like, him and DP are the only 2 people to ever put 10 minutes on me. So, like, there's that. So shout out to him. And number 3, man, there's so many spots for this number 3 spot. I just don't know. And if we're talking peak, I don't want to do my own horn, but I feel like if we're talking peak, then I can perform very well against any of these players. So I want to slide myself in there.
Nothing wrong with that.
Like,
There's nothing wrong with that.
Again, I hate tooting my own horn. So if I had to pick somebody else, it would probably be someone along the lines of like Spec. Like, he's really good. There are other people that I wish played more often, but I'd probably give it to Spec, just because, and that's from the lack of knowing other players as well, if that makes sense. Or at least playing with them. There's a few people who are good, but I'm sorry, some of those people are only good whenever they're in good cars. So I don't like to, So like, if we're being objective here, I would give it to Spec. So I would say Dundee, Tuner, and Spec. I would put those in the top 3 right now in Horizon 5.
Okay, that's not a bad 3 by any means. I feel like at least 2 of those people should be in everyone's top 3 for Horizon 5. If you know them and played with them at least once at least. But for me, mine is pretty much almost exactly the same. I have Dundee, of course, as one of the top 3 players. I mean, I have keywords for all of them. His keyword is consistency, and you touched upon it perfectly earlier. Just every game that he plays, you can expect to be playing Dundee. Like, who you're gonna be playing, and you know that you have to bring it to match his level of consistency within that game. So just being able to consistently be a threat to first place, at any given moment, any given game, definitely in my top 3. Second one is also Tuner Mark. I mean, the keyword for him, dominance. When he's in Tuner Mark mode, you're not gonna beat him. I'm sorry. I don't care who that is. That goes for both of the other 2 people that are in the top 3 for me as well. You're not gonna beat Tuner when he's dominating. Nobody is. And for the very last one I'd add on my list, probably controversial, I'm putting Misty Blues up there. I had to pick between 2 words with him, and that kind of plays another factor into it: potential and optimization. For me, Misty Blues, yes. For me, Misty Blues, and this even goes back to playing with him on Horizon 4 for the few games I did, and even just seeing some of his clips on Horizon 4. He just gets the perfect angles. And when I say get, I don't mean he executes them. I mean he just understands the perfect angles, and he purposely looks into stuff like that. When I'm playing, and I'm pretty sure when a lot of other people are playing, we don't purposely think about, all right, I gotta be going exactly 52 around this corner here. And I feel like from what I see from him, that's exactly. There was one clip that he put into Discord, I think it was last year, of how to play Forza Horizon 4 Rail Yard. And it was like he optimized this one route, and I gotta show it to you. I don't think I've showed it to you either. I'd probably have to find it. But those are my top 3 right there. Misty, he has a potential to move up even past Dundee, in my opinion. He's not there yet, but his optimization gives him that potential.
Okay, that's interesting. I can respect it. I can respect it. I will this is gonna sound a little bit biased as well, but I gotta shout out to Alex too, man. Like, because honestly, like I feel like he's got my number, in a case, but like he really can perform whenever he wants to as well. I feel like I gotta give him an honorable mention as well, and I would honestly put him above Misty in my personal opinion. Right? Of course, it's only one person's opinion, but Yeah, I mean, I don't think I can be like, oh no, this is absolute
Yeah, yeah,
horseshit. You know, I don't think I can disagree like that. You know, yeah, it's respectable. I can respect it.
yeah. Alex, if there was a most improved player, he definitely is unanimous. I,
What since
I would
what
say
like Horizon 2?
Horizon. I guess yeah. I mean, but he's played Horizon 3 and 4. Like he's played a King game on them, and he just
I
didn't
think
like
he's
him,
played a
which
couple.
is fine.
Yeah, yeah,
But just the increase in skill, the jump from him is the only other person I can think about is Shifu. But even his was like it was more gradual.
yeah.
But that's pretty much it for the podcast episode from me. You can leave anyone off with some last important notes if you like.
I don't think I can think of them on the spot. Although I feel like I have a lot of unsaid things. But that's just me right now. But
Don't
maybe
worry.
that's for maybe
There,
that's for a different
yeah,
episode.
we will have more episodes with you as co-host. This is just the beginning. This is the genesis of what the King community will explode into, hopefully,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
2023.
Well, Panda, I do appreciate you having me as a guest host on your podcast. It's an honor for me to be your first guest. So, thanks for having me.
Of course. Wouldn't want anyone else for the very first episode. And I'm gonna be having more people on for episodes. I'm trying to. I think I'm gonna do every other episode as a co-host. So stay tuned for episode 3. I got someone already committed to it, and it will be a good one. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in to King Talk, episode 1. Thank you to TopGearTim for coming on here. Everyone, if you are a good King player, please
My
sign up
pleasure.
to both the Bar League and the UKC. And other than that, peace out, and thanks for listening.
Bye bye.